Any questions on page one? Hearing none, move to.
First one up at the top, this is an election computer security grant, getting $2,400, a small one, but that is coming 100% grant funded. Second one, that one is going to be a little bit of speaking. If you don't mind, I'll do that one at the end if that's okay with everybody. I'll come back to it. The third there is the Sheriff's Office. That's a THSO grant. It's 100% grant funded. And the one on the bottom of the page, this is a new grant, the TCI, it's Jail Training Equipment Grant, again 100% funded. Any questions on those? Page 3, up at the top, that was a patrol vehicle that had an insurance damage. We got insurance recovery of almost $18,000 on that. Second one, donation came in for the Sheriff's Office to be used on equipment, $3,000. The third one, this is E911 or ECD 911 will be paying $300,000 or contributing up to $300,000 for the dispatch radio system project that we've got working. We did run bids. We're reviewing the bids right now. And we also have to purchase the radios. So we do have a grant that's a little over $600,000. Once we use that up, then we'll also look to see how much that we might take from the 911, but that is a one-time contribution or impact fee from them. The fourth one on the page there, that is simply moving money from county buildings into the health department. We did some paving. The school and the county worked together. The mayor worked with if anybody's noticed, you'll see that up near the annex is all paved now. The health department's paved in the school board area. So that's the health department portion. And the last one on that page, that is our DGA grant. That's where the county employees at the medical center, they had an increase in their grant, so that is showing the increase for those line items.
Questions on that page? Being none, move on.
Page 4 at the top, that's another grant, library technology grant. This one was actually already approved, but she got a little bit less, so that's me just adjusting it down to exactly what the grant was approved at. And her 50% match is covered from what she has in her existing budget. The second one was some donations to the libraries for memorials, so just putting that money into her budget so she can buy the memorial expenses. The third one, this is the LEAPS, or the After School Program grant at North Stewart. That's 100% grant funded. They did have a reduction. In the past, she's got 96,525. She got an even 90,000 this year, so I had to reduce the money to match what her grant gave her. And the last one at the bottom, you've heard me say this now for a few years, this is the visitor center. At the end of the year that ended on June 30th, we had that roughly $38,000 that wasn't spent. That's me moving it into this year. Any questions on that? I'm sure the mayor, he's been heavily involved trying to get that visitor center basement fully finished. We're almost there. So, any questions on that page? Page 5, this is the multimodal sidewalk grant. This is a grant that's been in the works now for a few years. It started with Mayor Brandon. In your commissioner packet, you'll see a resolution when we get to the county commission meeting, but the grant itself did come through at $513,797, sorry. The grant covers 95%. The county does have to come up with a 5% match. So my suggestion was we still have ARPA-free revenue funds, was to take the match to offset that with that, which is roughly $26,000. Any questions?
Is the city paying any of that match?
No. That is for the, do you want to speak? What you'll see in the agenda packet for the county commission meeting, the original resolution said, it was vague, it didn't say percentages, it just said the county and the city were partnering and they would give towards a cash match. When we looked more into the emails that were written back and forth between the county and the city, what it was the county was going to pay the cash match, was negotiated, and the city was going to do the maintenance of the sidewalks once they were there going forward into the future. So that is what the resolution revision and will be seen at the 7 o'clock meeting. And then on page 6, this is under Fund 127, which is our ARPA, the free revenue account. The second one there, I'll speak to that first, that is the multimodal, that transfer in that I just spoke about, the 26,000 cash match, just taking it from there, moving it into Fund 101. And then the one at the top, this was a situation where the commission approved money for patrol vehicles to be purchased in last year's budget. We issued a PO in August 2022 to a Ford dealership. It was off of a state contract. We waited and waited and waited, and we had to finally cancel that PO. They had a clause, state contract allowed us to cancel the PO after 270 days had expired. So we canceled that PO, and the sheriff's office looked to purchase with a new vendor under a state contractor. So we're just having to move that money forward so they can get the money. It was no fault of the sheriff's office. It's a supply and demand issue. The vendor could never come through with the vehicles.
Go back to page 2.
Okay, go back to page 2. And I just want to speak to this a little bit. The mayor may want to say something too. I've been here since 2009. When I came on, we had no IT personnel. We're in 2023 now, and the county still has no IT personnel. I have talked with pretty much every single department head, every single official. They're in full support. They've got a lot of frustrations, just like our office, with the fact that we have no IT. If you look at industry standards, typically you're going to have one IT personnel to every 100 employees. That's the minimum. School system, I realize they have students, but they have 3 IT personnel, and they've got roughly a little over 300 employees. County has about 200 employees, and we have 0. So what we end up having to do is we basically outsource everything that we do in IT. And although outsourcing can be a good thing, it also brings a lot of issues where you're basically relying on another company that doesn't know our county, that doesn't know our needs, our analysis exactly. We're relying on them to tell us exactly how we need to operate. Cybersecurity risk has become huge. You look in the state of Tennessee, you can go out to the Comptroller's website, they have all kinds of IT statistics. I just went on there recently, and you can see that governments, according to the Comptroller's website, municipal governments were subject to 45% of ransomware attacks in the past 12 months, which means they're now ahead of the education and the healthcare industries as far as ransomware attacks. The average payment in the past 12 months is over $1.6 million. And all of those that had to pay that out, the governments had areas that were less than 50,000 people, similar to us. Used to be that a lot of times with ransomware, you didn't pay out. It's still, on average, you don't. A lot of times you can restore your data, but also the data showed that of those, 15% of those municipalities did pay out a ransomware attack. And you can just Google, I mean, I'm sure in the news you can see City of Knoxville, Cleveland's school systems, Coffee County Sheriff's Office, Paris, Tennessee's 911, everybody is experiencing this. It's not like we're immune to a cybersecurity. Our Tennessee Risk Management Trust Insurance Company specifically asked us to fill out an information personnel questionnaire at this point. We don't have information personnel, so we do our best. They've accepted it the last couple years, but I know that it's coming that they're going to force us to have somebody who can do this. So a lot of things said. I can speak all day to this, but it is something I personally think that the county needs to invest that money. We pay out, in communication, we pay out over $200,000. We have an obsolete chunking system that needs to be updated with our phone system with AT&T. We have internet systems that need to be addressed throughout the counties. We pay over $200,000 to companies for our hardware services, our software services, firewall protection, endpoint protection, all these things. You're still going to need a lot of these things, but we just need sort of a key point person that we can go to. The departments can say, hey, I'm looking at this project, I've got, what, can you at least give me some kind of direction? And I can tell you that initially, I know the mayor really wants the phone and the internet to be addressed, and then email would be third. That's going to keep one person busy, possibly a whole year. It's going to be a big project to undertake, but that's my spiel. I've more than any questions. I had a number of departments that offered to come and speak to it, but I just wanted to keep it brief. And if there's more, I can ask certain people to come and speak as well.
Question, anybody?
You got funds to cover that, man?
Yeah, didn't speak to that part.
You didn't speak to that.
As far as the pay, we went with what the average was at the school system, $25 an hour. That salary being said, that'd be a $52,000 annual salary. If the person chose all the benefits, it could be up to $80,000. So what we're going to offset that with is investment income. The county, for many years now, the county side, the school would get up to $97,000 if the trustee gains any income off of investments. So the county hasn't seen any. Last year we got, first time we saw it in our revenue line items, we received $75,000. Talked to the trustee, she expects that to be way over this year. She's got some investments out there right now, over 5%. So we're expecting a much larger, with the prorated portion right now, that puts us at $85,000. I expect we're going to see investment income probably $150,000 for the year.
So that's what you're going to cover?
Correct. So the reoccurring costs can be covered with that investment income.
Okay, any more questions on anything? Do I have a motion to approve the
Motion, sir.
101 fund?
Motion, sir.
Second? Second. All in favor? Any questions on that motion or second? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? We have one for the school, pretty self-explanatory, but the people are here who need to ask questions.
Motion to approve.
We'll ask that. I have a motion and a second to approve the school's 142 fund. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed? Thank y'all for coming. Is there any other business to come before this meeting?
Motion to adjourn.
We stand adjourned.